Welcome back to The Explainer. Now, today's session, it's going to be incredibly valuable because we are getting right into the true mechanics of business money. We're talking bookkeeping, cash flow, and financial discipline. Honestly, if you've ever felt like, your business is constantly making money, but somehow your bank account is always empty, you are in exactly the right place. Let's just jump straight into it.
To kick things off, I really want you to ask yourself a super critical question. Think about this. Does being busy actually mean you're profitable? It's a massive, and I mean massive, entrepreneurial myth. We see a packed schedule, constant customers coming through the door, endless orders, and we just automatically assume, hey, constant customers equals a totally healthy, growing bank account, right? But the reality, well, actually scratch that. The reality is usually the exact opposite. Let's look at why that assumption is so dangerous.
Take this incredibly relatable story of a busy carpenter. This guy's working away in his shop, right? He's got constant customers, literally working day and night. Yet, he always lacked money. Why? Well, because when he finally sat down to look at his numbers, he realized he was totally mixing his personal and business funds. He was overspending on transport, handing out excessive discounts, and get this, he never actually calculated his true profit. Not once. It literally took him 6 months of proper, disciplined record-keeping to totally change his business trajectory. So yeah, being busy definitely does not mean being profitable.
So what's the structural solution to that whole busy but broke problem? It's basic bookkeeping. And hey, don't let that word intimidate you. Bookkeeping simply means recording all of your business's financial activities. That way, you know exactly how much comes in, how much goes out, and absolutely most importantly, how much remains. It is the absolute foundation of every successful business.
Okay, let's dive into this. Proper bookkeeping really boils down to just 3 core daily activities. Step 1, track your income. Every single product sale, service charge, or commission, write it down. Step 2, track your expenses. Materials, transport, rent, utilities, wages, literally every penny going out. And step 3, know your profit. You find this out by taking your income and subtracting those expenses. Because remember, profit is what remains. It is not the total amount you collect from a customer.
To actually make those 3 steps work, you've kind of got to adopt a mindset shift. And this brings us to a fundamental non-negotiable rule. This is the thing that stops businesses from slowly bleeding cash. The golden rule is simply this: business money is not personal money. If you don't separate the two, it is mathematically impossible to know if your business is surviving or dying.
Let's unpack the stark contrast here to completely debunk that business money is my money myth. We need to establish some real financial discipline. Think about the absolute wrong way to do this. A customer pays you, say, $20,000, and you immediately take $15,000 of it to go buy personal groceries or pay a house bill. No way. The correct practice? You record the income. Then, you pay your business expenses first. You figure out your actual profit, and then, and only from that profit, do you actually pay yourself.
And this brilliantly illustrates the required life cycle of every single naira, dollar, or euro that enters your business. Think of it like a flow. Money comes in as income, it pays for your expenses, which then reveals your true profit, which allows for savings, and ultimately leads to business growth. If you interrupt this flow by grabbing cash straight out of the income pile for yourself, you are literally cutting off the oxygen to your business growth.
Let's walk through a quick profit formula reality check. Imagine your business brings in an income of $100,000. You might feel pretty rich for a second, right? But then you look at your operating expenses, materials, rent, transport, and they come out to $60,000. So what does that mean? It means your absolute maximum profit is exactly $40,000. You didn't make $100,000, you only made $40,000.
But here's where it gets a little tricky. And this is the critical difference between being technically profitable and actually surviving the day-to-day. Making $40,000 on paper, that's profit. Cash flow, on the other hand, is the actual movement of money in your bank account. So for example, you might be owed $500,000 by your clients. On paper, you look highly profitable. But if you only have $10,000 actually sitting in the bank today to buy supplies, well, you've got a massive cash flow problem.
I really want to highlight some massive red flags here so you can immediately spot if your business is suffering from a cash flow disease. Are you constantly borrowing just to keep operations running? Do you find yourself unable to buy the materials you need for your next order? Are you dealing with delayed payments to your own vendors, unpaid bills, and just overwhelming financial stress? Look, if you're nodding yes to literally any of these, your cash flow desperately needs a rescue plan.
So the crucial point is how we actually go about fixing it. Here are some concrete remedies to relieve that financial stress and end those cash shortages for good.
First off, collect your payments on time. Seriously, follow up with your clients. Second, aggressively cut down on unnecessary expenses. Third, maintain meticulous daily records. Fourth, actually budget properly for the month ahead. And finally, like we talked about earlier, ruthlessly separate your personal and business funds.
Now, once you stabilize that cash flow, you get to tap into something pretty amazing. This brings us to the triple E savings rule. To build real wealth, you must do three things: pay yourself, pay your business, and save for growth. The really vital takeaway here is that successful entrepreneurs save consistently. They don't just wait until cash is abundant or they have some massive record-breaking month. No, they make saving a structured, completely non-negotiable part of their financial routine.
And part of that consistent saving needs to go directly into an emergency fund. I mean, ask yourself right now, why is building a financial moat so essential? Well, because every business, I don't care how successful it is, will eventually hit a snag. Equipment breaks down, unexpected illnesses pop up, sales seasons get slow, or the market just suddenly shifts. Having an emergency reserve fund drastically improves your stability and gives you this incredible peace of mind during those wildly unpredictable entrepreneurial seasons.
Now, to make sure you actually have enough money to save in the first place, you've got to look closely at your pricing. Think about this fashion entrepreneur. She generated significant income, she was super busy, but she was still struggling terribly. Why? Because she was just guessing her prices. That meant she was underpricing her services while simultaneously overspending on non-essentials. She only turned her struggling business around when she started budgeting deliberately and pricing her work mathematically.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these 5 steps construct a perfectly mathematically sound and highly profitable price. There is absolutely no guessing here. To get your exact price, you add it all up. Step 1, your exact cost of materials. Step 2, transportation costs. Step 3, your labor. Step 4, daily operating costs, things like rent and electricity. And finally, step 5, you add your desired profit right on top of all those expenses. That total number, that is what you need to be charging.
Let's consolidate everything we've covered today by contrasting that flawed old mindset with this new triple E thinking. The old thinking wrongly assumes that sales equal profit and that business money is just your own personal piggy bank. But triple E thinking, it demands a much higher standard. It recognizes that profit only comes after expenses are paid, that business finances require intense discipline, and that consistent, deliberate savings are what actually create long-term growth. I want to engage you directly right now with a quick financial health check. Mentally rate yourself from 1 to 5 on these exact questions, okay? Number 1, do I record all my income? 2, do I record every single expense? 3, do I definitively know my profit? 4, do I totally separate my money? And 5, do I save consistently? Be brutally honest with your scores here, because wherever your score is low, that right there is the exact bottleneck holding your business back from scaling. Let's see how this builds into real-world action. I am officially issuing a highly actionable 14-day record-keeping gauntlet to you right now. For the next 2 weeks, I want you to commit to these 5 steps. 1, record every single income. 2, record every expense, I don't care how small. 3, calculate your true profit. 4, save a percentage of those earnings. And 5, review your performance at the end of the 14 days. It is a game changer that will fundamentally rewire your financial habits.
So I want to leave you with this really powerful, provocative question as we wrap up this explainer. Are you ready to separate your personal wallet from your business growth starting today? Because honestly, until you make that separation, your business cannot truly thrive. Sure, it takes daily discipline, but the reward is total financial clarity and sustainable success. Thank you so much for joining me, and I challenge you, start making those changes right now.